Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a story time about the time I caught my ex cheating. So if you want to watch the video, if you're interested, then keep on watching. So boom. I was dating this guy for, I want to say this was like 3 years ago. I was dating this guy and we was kicking it, we was going kind of strong or whatever. Y'all, I'm real goofy, so I know I'm gonna laugh throughout this video, but yes. So we was kicking it, whatever. We was going strong, going steady, you know. And, I used to, like, when we first, like, after we went on our first date or whatever, we used to be together literally every day. From the point we went on our first date, like, I went over his house pretty much every day. So we're gonna fast forward to a few months later where he was planning on going on a trip to Miami or whatever, and okay, cool. So he had his daughter for the summer. She was at his house the whole summer, and he stepped out and he was like, I'm getting ready to run to the store. You need anything? I'm like, nah, cool. He was like, I'll be right back. So mind you, his daughter, I think she was about 4 at the time. Yeah, I want to say she was about 4. I know she was really young. And she had this tablet that she used to watch, like, YouTube videos, play games and stuff on. So she had that or whatever, and she dropped it, and so it broke. And he had like an old iPod, and he found it. He was like, okay, I'm gonna put this old I'm about to charge this old iPod. I'm about to see if you could download some apps on there for her to play games, put YouTube on there for her to watch, because her other one, her screen is cracked, so it's broke. So cool. So before he left, he had the iPod charging. So, he left. I'm not thinking nothing. I'm just sitting there. I'm just sitting there watching TV. Me and his daughter, she's watching TV. I'm just sitting there. And I hear a text message, noise of a phone getting a text message. So I'm like, okay, I look at my phone, I check my messages, and I'm like, I don't have no messages. Like, so I'm thinking, how sometimes your phone like malfunctions and it does little weird things, and like my phone used to randomly vibrate all the time for no reason. I couldn't ever understand why. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm not thinking anything of it. The second time I heard the noise, like something, like my phone was getting a text message. I'm like, I look, no message. I said, okay, something ain't right. So I look over at the iPod and I see the iPod is getting text messages. Y'all, it never sunk in my head, that, and I know he didn't think about this, that, his iCloud. So every time he was getting a message, it was going to the iPod and his phone at the same time. So I'm like, ooh. My first instinct, I called my best friend. I called her up. And I know she don't care if I say her name. So I called Jaleesa. And I was like, girl, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say his name, but I was just like, he went to the store, and I told her everything that was going down. I'm like, he has his iPod right here and it's getting text messages or whatever. And I'm just like, girl, like, what should I do? Should I go ahead and read these messages? What I'm gonna do? So my friend was just like, my friend, she works at a cell phone place, so she was just like, I'm just gonna tell you one thing: you can't read the messages before he does, because if you read the messages before he does, then he's gonna know. So basically, like on your iPhone, when you get the little notification by the icon or whatever, the app that has the red one by it, or however many text messages you have, and then when you click on it, you have your whole thread, and you know how it has the blue little dot by it. So she was telling me, she was like, when the blue dot is there, basically, she was like, when the blue dot is there, basically, don't you know, you can't click on it, you can't read the message because that means he hasn't read it yet. But once the blue dot goes away, it means he read the message. So I'm just like, okay, get off the phone with her. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, I'm in the loop. Okay, I'm just going. I'm just like, you know, because mind you now, I've never been the type of person that would go through somebody's phone. But when the opportunity presents itself, I mean, what do you do? What do you do? Like, so I was just like, I don't know, like, this too good to be true, you know. Bam, you know, the phone right here present itself. Just like, let me go ahead and see what I see. So I'm scrolling, I see he has this group message, and in the group message is all the people that's going on the Miami trip, like all his homeboys, they all on a group message. So I'm like, okay, let me read this group message. So of course, I read the group message and I see on there that he is basically, he telling them in the group message how he been talking to this girl on Snapchat. Y'all, just a FYI, people think they slick with communicating and talking to people on Snapchat because Snapchat does not keep like you know, record of the message. Basically, you know how like on Instagram or even Facebook, if somebody send you a DM, that thread is always there. Well, on Snapchat it disappears. So you know, once you send somebody a message and once they open it, basically that's it. There's no no record or, you know, of what you sent. So he was just basically saying how he had wrote this girl or been writing this girl on Snapchat now, and he was just like, you know, she really liked me or whatever, and he asking one of his homeboys, like, yeah, so you think she gonna let me hit? What? You think she gonna let me hit? I was just like, okay. So that's all I needed to see, really and truthfully, because it was really nothing for real in there. Like, the rest of the messages, it wasn't nothing. Like, he wasn't talking to other females, nothing like that, or not, at least in his text messages. So I was just like, okay. So I called my friend Jaleesa back, and I'm just like, told her what I seen. I'm like, okay, I'm finna wait for him to come home to his apartment, and I'm finna be like, yeah, you know. Because mind you, now I had my own apartment and he had his own, but I used to be at his apartment more than mine or whatever. So I was just like, I'm finna wait till he come home, and yeah, I'm about to say something. You know, I'm finna get his tail and I'm finna go off on him and be like, what is this? So, you know, he comes back from the store, like everything all normal, because he has no idea that I'm in the loop. Like, I'm in there like swimwear, like I'm up in the messages, I'm up in them threads, baby. I slid up in the messages. So he just comes back in the door and he just, you know, like just looking like he has no clue. And so I'm like, what's that? That just popped up. Okay. So then I'm just like, you know, what's going on? You know, who is so-and-so? You know, you think she gonna let me hit or whatever? And he was like, he just like, you know how people have that national, that just dumb look, like you just don't know what to do. Like, he was just like, and he looked right at the iPod. And then, you know what his first little thing that he did was he put it all on me, like I'm all up in his messages and this, that, and the third, and that I don't trust him and I shouldn't have been doing that and this, that, and third. So he spun around back on me, and I was pissed. You know, I wasn't talking to him or whatever, none of that. So okay, this is not even the interesting story part of, you know, part of the story, even though this is the part where I caught him basically planning to go to Miami and, you know, meet up with a female, do this, that, and the third. So I'm like, okay, so he took the iPod after I caught him, and he like, he went in his room and came back and it wasn't there anymore. Like, voila, magic, he got rid of it. So it's not even the juicy part. So, okay, this was on a Friday night when this happened. I was pissed. I was mad. I was barely talking to him, you know. So, like, Saturday. Now, he was going to Miami Sunday night. He was driving there. So, Saturday, you know, it was just, like, he was just being so nice to me. Like, nice, just as nice as he can be. Like, he's never that nice to me, how nice he was. Like, just basically trying to butter me up. Like, you know how do. You know how they do when they done did wrong, they done got caught and they know they wrong. They do all this apologizing, whatever. So, Sunday when he was going out of town or whatever, well, Sunday, because he was leaving at night, he gave me his keys to his apartment, which he used to do all the time because at the time, he just had more stuff in his apartment than I did. Like, he had a Fire Stick, he had internet, he had cable. I wasn't rocking with cable, so I didn't have cable. So he had all that. So he was like, here, you know, here are the keys to my place. You could be over here, you know, chilling, which he used to do a lot of the times. Like, I had a key to his place and I would go over there or whatever. So I'm just like, okay, cool. So, okay, boom. So, Sunday night or Sunday evening, he's getting ready to leave, you know, he's staying by or whatever. Okay, yeah, like a fool, you know, I took him back after I seen a little text message or whatever, but, you know, we was back on good terms, like an idiot, you know, I took him back. And so, so he left, and I'm like, okay, as soon as that door, you know, shut, and he's driving to Miami, and he took his daughter with him. So he's driving to Miami, and you know, a little thing goes in my head, a little light bulb, like ding, ding, ding. That iPod is somewhere up in his house. So I'm just like, okay. So I'm just going in his room, and I didn't have to search high and low, and I didn't have to look far because he literally just put the iPod like on the top of his closet. Like, literally just iPod, just top of the closet. So I'm like, okay. So I get the iPod down. I seen that it's about to die. So I'm just like, okay, you know, I just can't wait. I'm like, okay, I'm finna charge this iPod, and I'm finna be in the loop the whole Miami trip. I'm finna know what's going down. Like, I'm finna know everything. So I'm just like, okay. So, you know, I put the iPod, I'm in the living room charging it, you know. He wasn't really getting text messages that night. I don't know. He probably at this point realized something was wrong. Probably was like, ooh. So he wasn't really getting no text messages or anything. So I'm charging it. I'm like, okay, I can't wait. So the next morning I got up and went to work from his place. I just stayed over there and went to work. And I had a job I used to have to wake up early in the morning. So I used to have to be there at 5, and I used to get off at 1:30 in the afternoon. So I went to work, you know, I'm excited. Now, before I went to work, something told me, I was just like, let me just put this iPod back where it was. I don't know why I just thought like that. Instead of just leaving it charging or leaving it just in the living room, I was like, let me just put the iPod back. So I went back and I put it in the closet where he had it. So, you know, the whole time I'm at work, like, I'm just excited. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, when I get back, like, I am about to be in the loop with these messages. I'm just like, okay, like, I'm about to know everything. Like, I'm just excited. Like, I'm at work. Like, I don't even think, you know how you be so excited about something. Like, I was so excited about it that I was nervous. And I'm like, I think I barely ate lunch. Like, I was just ready to come home and just be like, okay, this whole trip, I'm in the loop. All day is he there. So anyway, when work is over, like, usually I'll eat something, like, or, you know, make stops here and there. When I get off of work, I was like, no, I mean, I was speeding to get back to that apartment. Do you hear me? I was speeding. I was like, okay, like, I'm about to get back to this iPod. I just know it's about to be something juicy up in it. Like, what's in this iPod? What is he doing? I'm in the loop. Yes, sis. So I get back, you know, I don't even know if I put my car in park all the way. But I get back to the, you know, to his apartment, and I go in his room, and I'm like, okay. So I go in his room, and I go to the closet where I just know the iPod is, and there's no iPod. Now, I know I put that iPod there. There was no iPod, y'all. I'm not playing. There was no iPod, and I'm like, at this point, I'm like, either he got a camera up in here and he watching me and he then came back, or one of his friends, which I think could have been the case too, has a key as well, and he had somebody come get it, because I know he wouldn't have been able to enjoy himself knowing that I was receiving all those text messages. Like, he would not have been able to just live life and be out there just kicking it. The iPod was gone. Like, I kid you not, I called my friend Jaleesa and I was just like, girl, the iPod is gone. Because I had told her everything, from the point when I was charging it that night to how I was going to get off of work and be reading those messages. So when I got back and the iPod was gone, I was like, I know, I just started looking around like so, you know, I was just like, dang, like, I ain't about to know nothing. I'm just like, whatever, you know. I was kind of, you know, anyway. So he came back in town and I, like, y'all, I never said anything else about the iPod, because I was just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know if I should say something about finding the iPod. I mean, you know, about it not being there anymore. So I didn't want to seem crazy, because I had already, you know, forgave him for something. So I didn't want to spark up a new argument and be like, yeah, you took that iPod. I know you either took the iPod or you got somebody to come get it. So anyway, y'all, that's the story time about how I caught my ex cheating. And that wasn't even the highlight of it. You know, he really did some voila magic and made that iPod disappear on my ass. Like, and like, to this day, like, y'all, that was my first time, like, well, I think I went through somebody's phone, I'm not even gonna lie, when I was like in high school. But that was my first time, like, just where I just had a golden opportunity to just spy on somebody. And I was just so ready and just, yeah. But that's the story time, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I already know I'm gonna get like a text or a call like, you talked about me on your YouTube. But he already is funny, because when he seen that I was starting YouTube and doing a channel, he was like, don't be talking about me on your channel or you're gonna have to pay me. And I was just like, well, I'm never gonna say any names, so people won't even put two and two together of who I'm talking about. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time, and go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.